What up? This is Mumbles, KingsCourt East 905. So we are going to be doing an interview with DJ Mike Stoan. Let's just play some music until he gets ready. Holla at your boy.
Today is the day that them angels collided with my demons, trying to provide reasons to the people that I cheated. The guilt has been built in the air that I'm breathing. I tried whiskey, I tried pills, and I tried Jesus. I feel a chill in the air as I'm airing out my grievance. The hair standing up on my neck like fans standing for the championship national anthem high on the bleachers. Somebody please just be my preacher.
These are my confessions, I trip on my words. A simple collection of bridges I burned. Don't wanna make it leave. Wish this was make-believe. These are my confessions and lessons I've learned. My conscience, my reverend, yeah, you are my church. Hope that you understand. You make me a better then you walk away. Try to pretend that you're strong as Superman. A little thought makes you hit the brakes. What's the point any other way? No regrets, I'm just here to say these are my confessions, I trip on my words. A simple collection of bridges I burned. Don't wanna make it leave. This was make-believe. These are my confessions and lessons I've learned. My conscience, my reverend, yeah, you are my church. Hope that you.
What up? Make sure you're off mute. Make sure you're off mute. Okay.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, good, man. I'm perfect, man. Good, man. It's good, man.
Just, doing my thing. Been good, man. Just trying to do the online thing. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm chilling, bro. Yeah, you got to chill, man. What are you going to do, man? You can punch the air all day, but you got to relax and chill, and hopefully, things work out,
Definitely. All right, so we are live. I'd like to start it off just having, because I know you, of course, just having you introduce yourself to the people. Who are you, what you do, and all of that.
All right. Well, that's where we start. I guess most people know me as Mike Stoan. Been a DJ for, I don't know now, maybe almost 25 years. Born and raised in Toronto. Worked on a lot of different initiatives in the city, live performances, nightclubs, artists, etc. I'm not really good at talking about myself, but that sums it up.
Okay.
That pretty much sums it up.
So of course I know you, DJ, DJ Mike Stoan. I'd say in the early 2000 to 2005, like you are one of the people that I feel like represented the underground scene in Toronto. Like if you're a Toronto hip hop artist and you were doing music early 2000s, if you've never done a show where Mike Stone was DJing, you're not anybody. You know, it was either you
I don't know if I would say that. I would,
as an underground artist. Who have you not DJed a show
yeah.
for?
It depends. Like, you mean like who in general or who's still around? Because
In general,
that's
like
a whole different
that's the
spectrum.
underground artists and stuff. Like that was like I like 2000. So that was after Cardi and them have already blown up. But after that generation,
Okay.
the next generation, like pretty much,
The next generation is like, well, it depends. Like, you mean
like
underground as not being known, or underground in terms of their sound? Because okay, like
both. Like I mean, like the Empires,
the Empires, the Rochesters, the
yeah.
Sean Booths, the list goes on. Like, there was it was a huge floodgate. Like I always tell people, like I feel like from 2000 2010,
Mhm.
roughly, that entire generation has been forgotten about, even
Very
though they were
much.
making moves, right? Drake is literally the only person from that era that has transcended, or at least we know about today. Like, he technically is the Cardi of that era, but even more than, you know what I
Hey
mean?
man, what's his name? What's his name? What's the
Tory,
next one?
Tory.
Tory, he kind of
Talk
blew
about
up at
yeah,
the end of that. I remember because I
yeah,
still
exactly.
remember
It
when
was the end
Tory
of that.
started with the 10K
Yeah.
thing with
So
Drake.
yeah. So oh yeah, if the I get to the 10K story because a lot of people don't even know where it came from, and I always laugh at it because it's like Freddie's symbolism is right there, right in your face. So I remember when Freddie
Hmm.
told me the scheme, and I went to his crib and shit, and he
Yeah,
was
like
like,
that.
"Okay, this is what we're gonna do." And I'm like, "What? Yeah, we're gonna make it like he's gonna bet Drake to like my music or don't." And I was like,
Hmm.
"Okay." Then it was on World Star and it blew up, right? And I remember when Freddie went to
Yeah.
Atlanta and stuff with Lanes, and in Florida, he would call me back and he's like, um, "People are like, yo, we know that kid from work. We know you from World Star. We know you from World Star because of that commercial that was on World Star." So any other like
Yeah.
interview he did after that to a certain point, people would always reference back to the 10K video,
10K.
which
Yeah.
I found it like years later. I'm like, yo, like all of this shit happened in Freddie's fucking apartment,
Yeah. He.
and look how big it got just from
Yeah.
Freddie's apartment. So it doesn't matter where you start at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
All depends where you end up at. It's good to see where Lanes is at right now. Despite the bullshit that's going on,
Yeah.
like for a lot of people, they don't get it. He came like I remember him freestyling at Freddie's crib, writing extensively on a
Yeah.
regular basis. That kid had it from a long time ago.
Yeah. Like I had to.
No one
I
doubted
had
that
to
he was gonna
defend him
blow.
on Twitter. I'm like, his music is not my style, but I'm like, I remember about 10 years ago, this man posting
Mm-hmm.
on Hip Hop Canada that he's going to
Mm-hmm.
be the next one out of Toronto.
Yep.
And I remember him telling what he's going to do, and whether you like him or hate him, 10 years ago, he said what he's going to do, and
Yeah.
he did it, and
And
he's
he did
doing
it.
it. You have to give you have
And
to give that respect, you
yeah,
know.
it's just like even with Drake, right? When
Mhm.
I listen back to Drake's older records or his records before he blew up, the ones in his Toronto centric music,
Yeah,
it's like he foreseen his future. If you listen
definitely.
to his lyrics, he predicted it.
He spoke it into it.
And it's like, God, yeah,
He spoke it into
spoken into
existence.
existence. And I think for him, at the level that he was at in terms of notoriety,
Yeah,
I feel like both of them, people doubted them.
yeah,
But Lanes was coming from the bottom up in terms of notoriety.
yeah,
Drake, everybody knew
definitely.
him from TV. I remember first hearing about Drake. Oh, so the guy from Degrassi Wants to Rap. I'm like, huh?
Yeah,
Because
and
he wasn't
everybody's like,
in the scene. He wasn't a part of the scene. He came into
yeah,
the scene, but he wasn't like. Look, I used to see a lot of people from Degrassi in and around College Street,
yeah,
right? They're like the older Degrassi,
hmm,
right? We didn't even see Drake on that level
yeah.
at,
That's true.
at a certain point until he entered the scene. So it was just like, okay, some actor kid that most of us don't know about. He wants to rap. I'm like, the guy down the street wants to rap. Like,
exactly.
who the fuck wants to rap, bro?
And you were thinking like
again,
another actor turned rapper, and I'm like,
no, not even that. It was more like, okay, well, you're not a part of the scene,
true.
right? You came in the scene, which is great. You met who you met, whatever, but we didn't really see him we saw him from a ground up from where he started, but not a ground up from entering the scene.
Definitely, yeah.
Right? Which is cool. It doesn't really matter how you start, where you end up. It's just, at the end of the day, who would have thought that any Canadian artist, much less, would have reached the level of success that he did?
Definitely.
Just getting a record deal was good enough. Just seeing Cardinal on BET was, oh shit.
Yeah.
But this guy took over the whole entire fucking world.
Like,
so imagine everyone who doubted him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I remember when I first heard City of Mine, and I was like,
yeah.
Like, you could hear, I'm like, nah, he's different. Like, there's something different there, but you still never thought he could.
Yeah, like when I heard City is Mine, I was like, okay, this is a cool joint. I'm like, but is the city even yours yet? Like, maybe he was first. Like, at the time, no disrespect, but at the time, it's like, okay, the city is yours. I'm like, who said the city was his?
Yeah.
I mean, and then the page and the Drake record.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how big that record was. That was a huge record, man. It's unfortunate what happened between them, right? But because think about it, Page could have been the second guy out if him and Drake were on good terms, right?
Yeah, if things worked out differently, because
it wouldn't have been
on
this
that
gap
commercial tip. He was good on that.
Yeah, and the whole thing is there's a gap. There's a gap between Drake and Tory in terms of the time that Tory was recognized by the world, or at least by a certain segment of the population, right? Because he was always doing his thing. And I remember when he was touring in Europe and selling out shows and doing all this shit, and people here were doubting him. I'm like, yo, he's selling out shows in Europe right now. Just Sean Kingston wanted to sign him, Bieber wanted to sign him, all this shit was happening. So it's like, just because you don't know about something doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah, definitely. And well, like, people don't know, Toronto was called the Screwface capital for a reason. There's nobody that can hate our own artists like a Toronto art, like, like we love and hate our artists. like we're great at that. Like,
I don't think any other city is like that. I mean, like in New York, it's there's a lot of people, there's a lot of competition. It's so good. It's so good and so bad that you go to New York and you're on the train, you got people performing on the train, doing all types of shit on the train. You don't even see that shit in Toronto.
No.
But there's people doing breakdancing on the train, rapping on the train all the time, and most people don't even care because they see it every day, right?
The talent, yeah.
I remember when Freddie did a cipher thing in the train, and that was a big deal because honestly, nobody does that.
Yeah, in Toronto. Like, we're too polished and stuff, but
no, even when it comes to, like, at the time when people were selling CDs, only a select few people were really hitting the streets selling CDs. Empire, Georgie Porgy, what's Mega Sean's crew?
I remember
Mega Sean's crew again.
I'm not sure. I remember honestly buying all of my CDs from what's it called? The guy, his name G from Hoodlands Click or whatever. He used
he's from that Saga, right?
I think so, yeah. And I remember he used to sell his CDs, and then he would also sell other Toronto rappers' CDs, I guess, for them and stuff and whatever. Like, he used to have a lot of stuff. Like,
so you used to cop them downtown, or where did you used to cop them?
I have no clue where I just know every now and then I'd be walking by Eaton Center, and he'd be there.
Yeah, downtown at least.
Yeah, and I'd be able to cop a couple of CDs and stuff from him, whatever.
But the thing is, a lot of there's a select few people who are doing it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Cryogenics were doing it. Friggin' Logical, and Logical from Stolen from Africa.
Yeah.
Stolen. Yeah, he was doing it with I know his name. Unknown Misery. They used to chop CDs. So a lot of them used to chop together.
But that love,
But something I always wonder is, like, remember where Club District was popping, right? There used to be mad people in the Club District. I rarely seen artists promoting themselves where there's tons of people every fucking weekend for year after year after year, and I barely see artists promoting themselves. And I'm like, why wouldn't they promote themselves? Like, the people are here.
One of the
I get
things
it.
that
If
I've
you're
said
underground, you don't want to mess with it. Yeah.
is that
Go ahead.
Toronto, like in the music side of it, we
Yeah.
didn't really grab that street hustling mentality of the of the business.
Oh
Like
shit.
there was a bunch of like street hustlers. Hello?
Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You good? Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a bunch of street hustlers, but when it came to the music, yeah, like they weren't really about the guerrilla marketing stuff that you heard
Yeah.
about. And
Yeah.
I think the generation that you say that was forgotten, and I'm part of that generation, I think if
Yeah.
if we actually had done that more, I think we would have
Yeah.
had
It'll make a
artists
big
in a better
difference.
position because we
Yeah.
had great
Because
talent.
yeah, great
Like,
talent, super great talent.
like,
Like some of like I used to do a lot of promo, right?
yeah,
And it's like some of the shit I was doing or the people I was working with, I've never seen an artist team actually go about doing it.
yeah,
Right. So I'm just like, it makes no sense. Like, you know, when Big Apple had his shit going on, the I'm not a rapper thing, it was a movement. But it was a movement from one dude who was, I won't call him a former rapper because he didn't rap afterwards, but
yeah,
in the 90s he was rapping.
yeah.
But he had a huge movement throughout the city for a minute. You're telling me no other artist could have done that? Not even at the time. Drake didn't even have a movement like that. His movement came after he blew up. I mean, Empire had a movement, definitely. They were on the streets, they were doing their thing.
Yeah.
But unless you're from that generation, you don't know who Empire is.
That's honestly, I'm on Facebook and I sit there and I see certain even like local people talk and certain things, and I'm like, do you guys not know who Empire? Like, and I'm thinking like these people really don't understand like a whole time of music seems to be lost on a lot of these people, like a lot of Toronto history that maybe didn't make it to much music and whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't get
it definitely
people didn't catch on to it. I'm like,
I find like a lot of it should be documented. Like some people, we're still alive to a certain degree. Yeah. You know what I mean? I remember, and I wasn't at this battle, but I remember hearing what happened at the battle. It's a long story, but Lucky Lamin, he won the battle from what I remember, but there was a big brawl between Empire, Armada, and I don't know if they were called Armada at the time, and another crew called Fatal Phonetics. And then Lamin got his face slashed and all kinds of shit. But a lot of these stories or a lot of these things that happen, most people either don't know about, like even the battle scene, like big up to KOTD and everything. But, and it's not a but, there was a battle scene in Toronto.
Yeah.
It kind of dwindled out for whatever reasons. I don't know if it's because of violence. I don't know the real situation. I don't know if more people are stepping up to battle or not, but it faded out. And then it resurrected. Like I know Chris Thomas, he was doing that Proud to Be battling thing.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the exact date, 05-ish. Even the battle I'm talking about with Lamin and shit, that was, I don't know if it was roughly 01 or something. So there was a gap.
Like,
you know what I mean?
You know that, what's it called? Because that part, like 05, yeah, like that's when the Proud to Be, the Chris Thomas stuff happened. Like,
yeah.
Like King of the Dot bought the rights for Proud to Be.
Proud to Be, yeah.
From Chris Thomas. Because remember, Organic, that's where Organic came from. Proud to Be a bad.
Yeah, that's where he made his name. That's where he made his name.
He came from there. Kid Twist, I battled Kid Twist at Proud to Be. Me and Fortunato battled at Proud to Be, and stuff. So that's where, like, PV, like King of the Dot started from a lot of the friends from Proud to Be.
Yeah.
When that kind of fizzled out for whatever reason, got together and made it more professional because it wasn't, wasn't freestyle battles anymore. It was all the written stuff and.
Yeah. Because I remember when Chris told me when they bought him out.
Yeah.
I remember when he told me. Because me and Chris at the time, we lived around the junction. So I used to
Mhm.
run into him all the time. And then at the same time, after a lot of the street shit KOTD was doing, they ended up doing it at what's that place? It's in the junction. It's called not Venus, something like that. It started with a V.
Oh
I
shit! I
live like
know.
literally around the corner from there.
Yeah, I know the.
So I
Yeah.
done that secure. If the name rings a bell or whatever, but unfortunately, literally I haven't been to one KOTD event just because of scheduling, right? I'm always
Yeah.
doing parties and shit. And it's funny because that event happened like literally I can walk there in 5 minutes, I'll be at the spot. But I was at another venue doing a party, so I could never check it out, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even with that, to see how small KOTD started,
Yeah.
how big it got. Jesus Christ. You gotta give it up to them, man. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is like like I remember when they were doing it at the park and stuff.
Toronto always had it.
Huh?
Yeah.
They had it. Yeah, they just
Toronto
needed.
always had it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I
Like
mean? But
I used to tell
there's a
people,
lot of factors to a lot of shit.
Toronto has artists. I think we needed, we needed people in the business and the promotions and that type of
Yeah.
just to do something creative. Like I used to tell people, I'm like, Toronto, we have our Jay-Z's. We don't have our Damon Dashes.
Yeah.
We have our Biggies. We
Yeah.
don't have our
Or-
Puffies. Like, so we
Yeah,
have our
and that's the
great
thing, like, and
artists. We don't have the ones to market them properly.
And
push
technically
them
though,
properly.
we do have them. We just don't have enough of them.
True.
Put it like this, and it's like this, right? Like if you look at Saul Guy, if you look at Click, if you look at Jonathan Ramos,
Mhm.
there's other guys. There's many people that I mentioned, right? I'm just talking those three in general because they've done a lot for the city in different levels.
Yeah.
We needed just more of them. Gavin Shepard, big up to Gavin too.
True.
You know
True.
Gavin, no? Remix
Yeah,
Project
yeah.
and everything. Because he was pushing Rochester at the time.
Yeah.
I know he was, yeah. And then the see, I forgot these girls' names. I think at one point they were working at BMG and they ended up working at Universal. And then of course Ivan Evidante and the Two Swift household. And they I don't know if they still manage Dopey. So we've had these individuals, we just didn't have enough of them.
Yeah. To make a
You know what I mean? It's like maybe I can count 10, maybe I can count 20.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you go to New York, everybody in their mother's is, even if they're not even good at what they're doing, you're trying to push or promote something.
And they're trying to hustle.
That culture wasn't here like that. That's the whole thing, right?
And
honestly, that's the kind of direction I wanted to.
You got to big up people like you and Freddie Fame, because I know like you two to get like. I remember like there was a time where a lot of people wanted to throw hate on his name and everything, but
oh yeah, all day.
Like I'll be like I used to be like, I've made money with Freddie, so like there's not a lot of promoters in Toronto that I can say that I've done that with. I've made money with Freddie, so
yeah.
Like
you know what it is,
and you just
I find, and I'm cool with some of the people that have issues with Freddie, and
yeah.
I mean I was cool with them before they fucked with Freddie, so and then when they told me what happened, because I'm like, I said what happened, and they told me the story, and I'll be like, that's it. Why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you? The thing is, they didn't. For me, anyways, was from what they told me, they didn't know what to do or how to approach the situation.
Yeah.
So when you don't know how to approach a situation, you're gonna get frustrated and be like, "Oh, that motherfucker." I had a club owner one time slap me in my face, right, over a misunderstanding. But at the end of it, because security stopped me from trying to fight him, me and him ended up drinking a beer. So it all depends how you try to approach the situation.
Yeah.
And if the follow you had with anybody, and I'll say Freddie, is based on something that I find that's minuscule.
Yeah.
What could you have done to remedy the problem? I'm not saying you got to be friends with anybody. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, how are you dealing with the situation? If is it a minor situation that you don't know how to approach, therefore you're upset, and que sera, then so be it. But there's people, they're gonna say good things and bad things about everybody, depending on what happened.
True,
like you said, I made money with Freddie.
So
right. So what could you do? Like, so you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta. A lot of people don't know the business. They're doing music, but they don't know the business.
Very
And it's
much
90% plus business before it's even your music.
very true. Very true.
So
So
it is what it is at the end of the day.
with you, have you been so like the last time? What's it called? I linked with you was the time that you were DJing at that
At the
underground.
spot.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what have you been what have you been doing? Obviously last year you're not doing a lot of events, but is it just mostly just been DJing at spots, or do you get into production or
You talking about? You mean
promotion?
last? You talking about last year? Or you talking about of last year? From last year?
Last like few years, like yeah, like what have you been doing? Yeah,
I've been doing
last couple
parties.
of years.
I've been doing parties. Man, even from the time you met me, I was doing nightclubs. I
Yeah.
was doing corporate parties. I was doing private parties. I was doing all types of shit. So I never stopped doing shit. You understand? A lot of times I
Yeah.
do shit. I don't need to announce it because I'm just gonna go get my money.
Yeah.
So it's always been literally the same shit right through until the fucking COVID hit. Right?
So how?
Where I was at that spot where how I met you at that spot. I was working at another venue. Usually time I'm leaving that venue to go over there. Yeah, I still have my private parties. I still have my corporate events. So I was always constantly working, bro. Nothing's changed, bro.
Okay.
From when you met me, from before you met me, and until that time, until now.
Yeah. So
and 2020 was supposed to be a big year. We had a lot of plans.
Anything other than DJing? Have you branched off to like
Not
anything
really,
other?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I was gonna mess with certain artists. I find like artists are problematic, and you got to deal with their mental state. And it's like I don't have time. I don't honestly have the energy. I don't give a fuck. Like my whole thing is get it done.
Yeah.
Get it done. Like I don't give a fuck how you feel. I don't care what happened. Get it done. I've had people die and all this other shit, and it's like, you know what? I still got to get shit done. That's just how I am. But if you're emotionally this and you're that and you're unsure of what you think the market wants and shit. Like for example, I'm not gonna name names, not because I don't want to. I'm just gonna say whatever.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
I was working with a select few people. We still fucking fuck with each other. That's not the issue.
Mm-hmm.
They put out a record. Hold on one quick second. Actually, transferring old files from like back then. But anyways, they put out a record. I'm like, this record's fucking hot. Y'all need to do something with this record. Mm-hmm. At the time, I think I don't know if it was around 2012 or 2014. You know, the Dirty South sound was dominating the market.
Mm-hmm.
This record was more of a West Coast sounding record.
Oh, okay.
So they were unsure, you know what I mean? Based on their perception
of the market,
that this would work or not. And I'm like, bro, trust me. My ears are not lying to me right now. This is a fucking blazing ass record. You gotta, you know what I mean? Again, people are at different, people see things differently based on their experience. Fine, cool. Record didn't go anywhere. Now, when Click was having the whole Stylist Awards thing, he brought a bunch of DJs together to put together a compilation of what was submitted from local talent.
Yeah.
I think the thing was called What's Next or Who's Next, whatever, Stylist Awards thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm there. They submitted the record. I think I told them to submit it. You know what I mean? At the time, I know Jelly Two Fly, a whole bunch of other people were a thing, right?
Yeah.
When Jelly Two Fly's record came up, you know, a lot of people in that room, right, they weren't familiar with her music. I said, yo, she's doing this and doing that and doing this. Remember, most of these guys play at nightclubs. They're not in tune with the underground scene that much. Right? So now the artist I'm messing with, his music comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't say a fucking word. Let the music speak for itself.
Yeah. They went crazy.
Let the music. Yeah, of course. I didn't put in a word, and it got added to the thing. So that's just on a small scale. Yeah. So imagine if you actually did something with the record, and up till this fucking day, I still fuck with them with that. I say, you motherfuckers should have heard what I said, because after that, just slightly after that, DJ Mustard came out with his sound, and DJ Mustard took over the whole entire fucking game.
Yeah.
With the same sound that you thought was outdated, because if Mustard could come through, bring his West Coast sound to make it popular across the board, why are you doubting yourself because the market's filled with this type of music? Even there was a time like 2010, 2014, where certain artists I knew, they were like, yo, man, Drake took over and we're going to have to sound like Drake and this and that. This is what their mindset is like. I'm like, no, who said you got to sound like him? Do your thing, put it out there. And since Drake's been out, there's been all types of artists across the board doing music and being successful. I found like Toronto, not even Toronto. I say more people that don't study the business and don't look at other things, they're trapped in their own thoughts.
And
even if you're giving them good advice,
not everybody can be an innovator. You know, like that's what makes innovators special. Is that only a few people are brave and strong and can see enough to innovate, and then everybody else kind of copies the innovation,
whether it's successful. So I find with artists, working with them, it's up and down, and you got to spend a lot of energy to work with them.
Yeah,
I don't got the time for that shit. I never had the time for it 20 years ago. I don't have the time for it now. Like I might be doing something with somebody, a fresh artist, but I don't know yet. Production, I started wanting to be a producer. I bought the equipment. I went to fucking Trebis, all that shit.
So did I.
And then I was like, I don't like the.
Yeah, I went to
Trebis. I don't like.
That's how I met Mindbender. Me and Mindbender, and you know the reggae singer Blessed.
Yep.
Me, Mindbender, and Blessed all were in the same class.
What year did you go again?
99 or 98.
Okay. So hear what now. I went there at the same time.
Did you?
Right?
Yeah.
So hear what now. You remember were you there when Bishop was there? And Greg's and Stokes?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. So I went literally 3 times.
Yeah.
I think I went 97. I went back in 98. 2 reasons why I left, because of financial issues.
Yeah.
Because I was working, I'm paying off all my bills for all my equipment. I'm like, plus, and then after that, I was like, fuck, honestly, half the shit you guys are teaching me is in my ASR 10 book already. What the fuck am I coming here for? And then I felt I was more into the business side of it. So I went back in like 2001 and took the business course, because I'm like, the real business is the business. Me producing and that's cool, but I still have to go through channels of managers and publicists and all this other bullshit. Yeah. That's what makes shit move in this business, not fucking me making a beat.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
so, and I didn't like the fact of being inside all the time. But the funny story was, I don't know, because if you went there when Mindbender was there, I was there when Mindbender was there as well. And I remember when one of the classes were merged. I think it was the second time I went. I'm not really sure. But Greg Stokes was there at one point. Bishop, Bender, fucking a promoter from Mississauga, Adrian. What's his name again, man? He's a big promoter. Everybody was kind of like all these people that made noise later, literally were there. Even with the funny story of Bishop, like, how do I explain it? Me and Bishop actually were in elementary school together years ago, right? So when I saw him at Trebis, I didn't know he was the same cat I went to school with.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it. The time I realized it, we're at the 416 Expo. It's a thing that Jonathan Ramos used to keep.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, yo, he looks like so-and-so. So I call him by his government, or like his first name anyways.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he's like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, you went to the public school, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh shit. But I was fucking going to school with the dude and I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a small fucking world, man. But at the end of the day, it's like, Trebus was a good experience, but it was a bad experience.
Yeah, like
I wish I never went personally. I think I wasted my money.
The money situation is a bit. One of my teachers, he broke it down like he's like, there's nothing creatively that like you can learn here that you can't learn on your own.
Yeah,
he's like, what you are going to get, anything freedom goes, what you are going to get here and what you need to use here is the connections. Like you'll never, and you think about who within your class. He goes with your teachers and your fellow students. You will never get a more valuable time to connect in the industry.
You know what though? The most fucked up part about it is, like, literally all the people I mentioned, I either met them before Trebus or I met them after Trebus. And if I didn't go to Trebus, I would have met them anyways. Like literally, like it's like I can't think of even what's her name again? I don't know if you know Donna Makeda. She's another reggae artist. I don't know. She went in and around that same time as well. But at the end of the day, it's like if you're going out, if you're pursuing this, I'm not saying don't go to school. I went to school for one purpose, because I was planning to move to the States.
Yeah.
And at least if I move to the state, remember, I don't know, other than my family, I don't know that anybody else, right? So it's like, at least I have the document to say I did something.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
like
true.
Even when I got a bank loan for whatever, right? It's like, it shows that you did something. If I went to the bank and said, hey, I want to start a business, but you know what I mean? That at least shows, you went to school. It's on paper.
You know, you have the back,
you know what I mean?
Official, yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't just, if you don't have it, you can't show it. Right? But shit fucked up, I couldn't go to America. A lot of different reasons. My brothers got deported, all kinds of shit like that. So it's like, okay, I could still have went, but the plan was to work with my brothers. So it's like, that plan went out the fucking window.
Honestly, like with me being at Trebus, like because like I was always a rapper and stuff, and then my mentality was like, why am I gonna sit there and like make other, look for producers and do whatever when I can, just learn how to do it myself and just make my own music. And then being at Trebus and doing the project, what it helped me, it helped me realize like the actual like technical programming of the beats and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. Like I would rather a producer tell him the beat, beatbox, be like, I want this, I want that, and have him like looking for the sound, the finding the samples, that kind of stuff that real producers love. I hated that, like listening to the beat over and over again 50 million times to get it. So I was like,
what pissed me off about Trebus too was that using the fucking K2000s. Why the fuck do you have K2000s in here? I have an ASR10 at the fucking crib, and I'm here fucking using a K2000.
Yeah,
fucking K2000, bruh. Bruh, K2000. I'm fucking Cubase, and I have a fucking ASR10. The fuck out of here, bro. I'm not saying the ASR10 is better, but for me, it was a better machine. Yeah. If it wasn't a better machine, I would have bought a K2000. K2000s are trash, bro. And you have a fucking rows of K2000s.
But it was
ranked, I mean, they're better for certain things.
It was ranked good at the time, around 98.
And compared to an ASR 10, are you fucking kidding me, bro? Does anyone even mention that a fucking K2000 anymore? If I tell people I had an ASR 10, those who know, if I said I used to have an ASR 10, what? An ASR 10? ASR 10s are fucking wicked.
Yeah.
And I wish I never let no one. I used to, I was the kind of dude. Oh, you take my records, do whatever, practice, learn, do your shit. Oh, yo, I'm not using my ASR 10 at the moment. Take it for 2-3 months. Do something. You know what I mean? That's how I used to be. And the worst part is these motherfuckers wouldn't do shit. That's why you can't just give shit to people.
Yeah, people get handed stuff. They don't really.
And I was only doing that for people because I know how hard it is to get shit. I work hard to get certain things. And I said, why not help somebody else elevate? That's always been my mentality. But I realized over time, a lot of people don't want to elevate. They don't even want to get it on their own. So they want it handed to them, and when they get it handed to them, they don't want to do nothing with it.
True. That is really very much.
That's Toronto's biggest downfall.
So you've been DJing for either 25 years, so you've basically seen the major technology switches of the DJing, really going from the record to the laptop now. So what do you think about the changes in where DJs are now? Like,
I honestly wish this existed when I was doing my thing earlier, because I would the amount of shit you can do with technology, like literally, like fuck even SoundCloud, all that bullshit. The fact that I could basically, I don't gotta even go to remember people used to press vinyl and shit.
Yeah,
because you had to press vinyl to send to the DJs for them to play it. The fuck, like, just to get like a certain amount of vinyl, and it's not like even a lot. It's like $2-3 grand, if not more. Like, it's like, yeah, you can make more money doing that, but your distribution now you kick in the online aspect of it. Your distribution now off of something you could do in your fucking crib is amazing.
True.
Right? Like you can blow it from your house. You don't even got to leave your house. Like if I could have had a camera on me DJing from my crib when I literally 1 to 4 years into the game, the amount of shit I could have done and book shows and do all this other shit across the planet, instead of like, okay, I gotta do all these house parties and I gotta go to here and I gotta build my, and that's fine, you build your name that way, but there's people building their name and they haven't even done none of that.
Yeah. And they don't even have a record crate. They don't even need the milk crates of records.
bro, I got, look, I'm not even, it's not a brag thing, right? There's a whole bunch of records here, right? And there's more, but I'm just saying, you think bro, I wish I didn't have to buy one, because it doesn't matter. Like it matters, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's like, who would have thought, even early 2000s, that DJs would eventually drop records altogether? I never thought that. I thought this is how it is. This is how it's going to be for a long ass time. Because even before our time, or the time when I was doing shit, this was how it was for, vinyl's been around for a long ass time.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, this is what you do. And then it gets phased out, even though vinyl still is selling right now.
Yeah.
It got phased out for the general population.
The general population and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's just like, you couldn't fathom it. Like when Serato came in, I hate Serato. I've been hating Serato. I don't give a fuck. Nobody tells me. I remember a friend of mine, it's 05, and he got it. And I tried it. And like, yeah, it's cool and shit, but I rather vinyl. But sooner or later, I had to try, I transitioned to CDs because I was playing a lot of nightclubs and they had CD players, and it's like, I don't want to bring all these records with me. And I used to bring at least 5 crates with me, minimum 3 to 5 crates.
Make sure,
And when you're doing a lot of parties, you can't, and I don't drive, so it's like 3 to 5 crates. Plus, I don't drive. I'm paying cab all the time. I'm just like, this is dumb. But I live down the street, like 10 minutes from the club district. I didn't give a fuck. But at the end of the day, it's like, I need a lighter load.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I transitioned to CDs is I went to Vancouver to do a bunch of parties. I was there for like a month. I can't bring my fucking records in. Like I could, but it's you got to pay extra for your records. So it's like, I went to Vancouver with no music. I spent 2 weeks downloading music, burning them on CD, and then we got good. And then I was on CDs for until I picked up Torque. But I always hated Serato. I still hate Serato. I have it. I use it.
Yeah.
But I rather virtual DJ a lot better. And I know a lot of DJs want to clown people for deep virtual DJ, but I can do a lot more damage on virtual DJ than you can even think of on Serato.
Yeah.
To each their own, right?
I've actually downloaded that and stuff to practice.
I love the technology though. I can't even lie. I'm a tech head. Even before DJ, I love technology. So it's like it's just that with DJing, it was a certain thing. You had to buy vinyl. You had to have techniques. You had there was rules to this shit. Once technology took over, the rules went out the fucking window. Yeah. And now you can do whatever the fuck you want. So
the original, there's always the people that want the rules to always be the thing, which I understand, because the only thing that I don't like about the technology is that it can allow you to take away from the actual skill. Like a DJ doesn't need to have the same level of skill that he used to have.
It depends what, I'll put it like this. It depends what avenue. Okay. If you're a club DJ, you may not need it, right?
Yeah.
But it also depends what kind of genre or what kind of crowd you're appealing to. Now, there's a lot of younger DJs that I see online that they're very skillful. I don't know if it's because their parents or whatever the case may be, but they'll even dust the pants off of a vet. Very talented, very, very talented. But you don't got to be talented in music or DJing to be successful. But doesn't mean the skill level is still not respected. You know what I mean? So it all depends what the consumer wants. If they want something, so they want to see a lot of cutting and scratching, whatever, they'll go to gravitate to that. If they don't want a dancehall DJ talking on the mic a million times, they'll go to someone who doesn't do that.
True.
People gravitate to what they want, right? So, like DJ Puffy, for example, right? At the end, I love him. He's a fucking a dope DJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He mostly plays Caribbean music. He plays everything at the end of the day. But he's mostly known amongst the Caribbean crowd.
Okay.
But he's doing a lot of stuff that maybe other Caribbean DJs don't do. But at the same time, there's a lot of Caribbean DJs that do what he does. Like, maybe if it wasn't for the Red Bull thing that he won, maybe he wouldn't, you know what I mean? He wouldn't be as known. But it is what it is.
So
right? Him versus what's the guy's name from the Beat Junkies, man? DJ Babu. It might be two different things, even though they're both skilled. Maybe like or Scratch Bastard. I love Scratch Bastard. Like Scratch Bastard, I love that. He does some dope shit, man.
What are you listening to? What are you listening to right now? Who are you listening to? I have a DJ who obviously have access to all types of music. What is Mike Stone?
I just listen to music, bro. I just listen to music. It doesn't matter what it is, what genre, whatever, when it came out. If it came out yesterday, if it came out before my mother was born, I just listen to music.
Yeah, but right now,
literally,
who's in your Rolodex? Like, when you want to go somewhere, like who?
I don't really have a Rolodex like that, bro. I just listen. If it's a vibe, I'll play it. If it's not, then I don't care. And then that's where, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not honed in onto like this particular artist or this particular genre. You know what I mean? Because music right now, at this point right now, it's so fluid. Doesn't matter. And people are doing like combination where it's like music mixed with music and different genres. So it's like, if it's dope, it's dope. If it ain't, fuck it.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? Because like, okay, for example, if you're into underground hip hop, right? For example, right? Now everyone looks at it different. Like they're into lyricists or they're into a grungy sound, and that's cool and it's dope. But you can still listen to Ariana Grande too, if you want. But some guys, or that's soft and rare. Yeah, it might be soft, but is it dope or not? That's all I care about. Is it dope? Because you know what? Some of the most classic hip hop records came from certain songs
that weren't
like that weren't like you people in hip hop wouldn't usually even listen to. And KRS-One, he sings a lot of shit, especially in his older records that come from like the Beatles. Comes from, I wouldn't say Elton John because I can't remember the lyric, but he said some stuff like there's a I forgot the line, but it came from what I remember. It comes from a Beatles record. I'm not saying most hip hop people don't listen to the Beatles, but if you spoke to most hip hop people, they're not bringing up the fucking Beatles.
And yeah, you definitely need, when you're creating music, the more broaden of your influences, it can only help.
Exactly. And it fuses. You know what I mean? So like even when people wanna, you know, people want to diss the old school though. When I mean the old school, I'm talking about Grandmaster Flash days and shit. Right? Yeah. But some of Nas's biggest records came from Houdini.
Definitely.
Some like Woo-Ha Got You All in Check. That's old school shit.
Yeah.
Sunshine, like someone I did a remix for Sunshine. Somebody already messaged me today, like, why would you remix this? The original is better. And I'm like, do you know where the original actually came from? I think the original is better than what you think is good.
Yeah. That's not the original.
So yeah, your perception of what's the original ain't really the original. And I love hearing the original of the so-called sampled records that some people, like people, I remember I had an argument with somebody. I told somebody, hip hop is not a genre of music. They got pissed at me. And I go, if you know music, then you know what I'm talking about. Because someone's rapping over a soul, funk, jazz, reggae, dance song. That is not hip hop. Because hip hop is not a genre of music. If I'm rapping over fucking a pop song, is it still not a pop song? That's where I got the sample from.
Yeah.
It's a pop record. It's just I'm rapping over it. Right? So it's not technically a genre of music because it's a culture, but it's not a genre of music. The thing is, people mix up hip hop with rap and et cetera, et cetera. It's like it's too technical, but whatever. To each their own, right? Everyone has their own understanding. And I'm not gonna fucking knock your head over what you don't understand.
Yeah. I think what you mean, yeah, because I think what you mean, like, yeah, with the hip hop, because so
but even if you rap over a record, doesn't mean it's hip hop. It just means you're rapping over a record.
True.
Like Blondie, the Blondie record. Like, what's the Blondie record again? Rapture.
Yeah, it's not really considered a hip hop record.
Yeah, but some people may not even regard it as a hip hop record, even though it was like, what was it at the time the first rap record to go number one?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, yeah, she was rapping on it, and I bet you back in the day people are rocking to it. But it wasn't really a rap record. Was it really a hip hop record? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
she did that, and she never did another rap record again.
It was
because she was a punk artist, right? She's a punk music artist.
Yeah, and they were just catching on to what seemed to be a new style of fad of thing of not, but
yeah. But props to her regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, at the end of the day, KRS-One for Step Into the World, what is he using? Parts of the Rapture. So music is fluid. It doesn't really matter the genre, right?
Yeah.
Like do most people even know it comes from that? Unless you know that record, you don't know that. I didn't know at the time when that shit came out. Yeah. When I heard Step Into a World, I didn't know it really technically came from the Rapture, even though I heard the Rapture. But I couldn't connect the dots.
But that's when it's best. Like, honestly, the funniest is when you listen to like some old school radio stations and it just sounds like a Puffy album. You're like, hold on.
Exactly.
You're waiting for Puffy just to come out and be like, take that.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you hear the original vocals.
You hear
and you're
some
like, oh,
singing,
shit.
you're like, who remixed this?
And the whole time you're like, yo, this is a hip hop record. I'm like, no, it ain't. It never was a hip hop. That's why a lot of those guys got pissed off at rap. Because it's like, yo, you're taking my shit that I created and you're making it into something else. This wasn't supposed to be made into something else. Right? Just like I said, the person that made a comment on me telling me, like, why did I remix this? Because I wanted to. That's hip hop. Regardless if you like it or not, whether you think it's, you like the original better. Imagine all those people that made those records, those rock records, pop, and they're hearing some bunch of dudes rapping over it, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
That's exactly like that's hip hop is about just taking what we have to and repurposing and making it new and blessing it. That's the beauty of it and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and
what do you have planned for? Because we don't have a lot of time left. What do you have planned or set up for 2021?
2021.
You have. I know you're doing some remote stuff.
I'm focusing on the live stream, and I'm gonna chill because until shit really opens up here, it can't really do much.
Yeah.
And I might start interviewing people. I don't know yet because sometimes it's like I'm good at asking questions, but it really depends on the person's energy. Like you see our interview right now, it doesn't even feel like an interview because it's not an interview. Like we're just interacting and we have a lot of mutual history.
Definitely.
Right?
That's what I've been going for.
Like I didn't even know you went to Trepid. So like you went to Trepid, I went at the same time, but we even probably seen each other, didn't even know.
Yeah, we didn't recognize. Yeah, we didn't know each other that time. Yeah. So tell everybody your live streams on where to find you and stuff like that, and when to check out your streams.
It's the What to Play Next mix show. Basically, I have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna play next. Literally, and there's no fuck. Look, I've always been on some freestyle shit. That's the best way I can play. Yes, sometimes you want to just have a set of stuff, but it gets boring. You want to have an energy, a feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you can catch it on Twitch, YouTube, IG, and Facebook. The problem is if you catch it after the fact, it might get muted. And I don't really have a set time for it right now. I literally just go on when I feel. Because also too, I'm trying to have a set time, but I'm finding that different people are logging on at different times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's not about catching the most people at a certain time. It's really how I feel it. Because if I don't feel like DJing, what the fuck am I going to go on at a certain time and perform poorly or not even give you, but give myself that vibe to give it to you, right? So that's basically it. Like, there's a lot of shit that was supposed to happen, can't do it. So.
Okay, so we'll definitely have the links and everything in the description. Make sure y'all check out the What to Play Next show. Subscribe to all of his channels. One of my favorite DJs. He's DJed many of a show that I've performed at. A lot of memories and stuff like that. He's a great guy. We've always, anytime we've linked up, it's always been good vibes and everything. That's why I wanted to, make sure to, and I give this platform. I've been starting out picking and choosing people that I know. Most of the people I know from who I've worked with in the past and who I feel have a good vibe in the culture. So that's what I've done. So I do appreciate you coming out there.
Yeah, man. More anytime, bro. Anytime. Right, I don't really. A lot of times people don't get to hear people's perspectives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's
All right then. Anything else?
Last thing, I guess. If you can see it, big up to Cho Vodka.
All right, true.
When you gonna make sure you interview this dude, man? Because he got an insane.
I
story,
definitely
man.
do. Cause I remember him from the Chill Clothes. Yeah, they've been around for a bit, dude.
He's one dude that honestly, he saw the potential in everything. And sometimes you be like, yo, man, this shit ain't gonna change. This Toronto. This is how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And he
and
put
he
in the
looked
work.
past.
Yeah, he put in the work, man.
All right, I definitely will try to link that up. But thank you very much there. You
Yeah,
have a
man.
good time there and bless it, all right?
Yeah, you too, bro. Respect,
All right.
man. Peace.
Respect.
Easy.
Either.
Try to get this
All
nice
right. Shout out
fluffy
to the
head out
people
this
there.
sweet. Grinding with this.
Shout out to the people, you know what I'm saying? We just had DJ Mike Stoan. Check out I Don't Know What to Play Next mixtape. Make sure y'all subscribe. KingsCourt Network. Follow me on Twitter at KingsCourt ENT. Follow me on Instagram, Mumbles905. February 15th, we're going to do the 24-hour live stream, the official launch of the KingsCourt Network. Make sure y'all, you know what, East 905, I said y'all, make sure y'all come out. I'm going to be planning a few different things that we can do for the 24 hours. If y'all want to support the launch, make sure y'all go to paypal.me/KingsCourt905. Any donation we do appreciate. Nothing but love. You will get a shout out from us. All right. So right about now, we are gone. Make sure y'all go over to Twitch. Look up King of the Dot. They're about to do the Grand Prix finale. Saint LA versus Marv 1. $50,000. Let's go.